to another edition of the Dirty Verdict Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, joined as always by Grizzly Adams, Kyle Herbert, who took off his bearskin jacket and put on a nice coat. Thank you, Kyle.
Welcome back. Just got back from the mountains, tanned, rested, swollen knee, ready to rock, baby.
Also joined by Bill, not to be confused with Bob Ogden. Thank you, Bill, for joining us again.
Thank you. You forgot to say your name.
Oh, my name is Peter Taaffe. I'm a full-time mediator in Houston, Texas, and Kyle and Bill are full-time badass trial lawyers.
Meh.
So this week, Dirty Verdict Podcast, of course, is not dirty.
Yeah, that's all.
But sometimes we talk about verdicts, and we're going to start today with some verdicts, and then we're going to get into some legal news and break it down a little bit as we are want to do. So first one, I wanted to give a shout out to Chance McMillan and the McMillan Law Firm. His wife's name
Jackie,
who was co-counsel with him on that. I believe the verdict in Harris County was a construction workplace death, and it was a $30 million verdict in Judge Bo Miller's court. That came out, I think, last week or maybe the week before.
Shout out to Judge Miller.
Yeah.
That is a judge that will let you try your case, and I think both sides respect him as much as anybody on the bench.
And he moves his docket very quickly.
Yeah, you're going to try your case. I thoroughly enjoy a judge that moves their docket like that.
And most importantly, he also streams. So those of us who want to stay at home in our pajamas and see what's going on, we can do that.
A shout out to all the judges out there, if you might be listening.
Yeah.
All these streams.
We love it.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to learn.
Every morning I get on my computer. When I open my internet, that's one of the IBM streaming tab for the whole county is on, and you can see who's live. I watch them every day. A lot of people do. Would love it if more did it.
I don't know why they don't.
I do.
Why?
If I'm on the bench and I'm streaming and I make a bad ruling or I say something or do something that I wish I could have back, one, very few people will read that record, but a lot of people might stream it.
I think you overestimate the amount of people that are interested in the courts. Regardless, you can't not stream it just because you might have a bad day. That's pretty silly.
Tell it to the United States Supreme Court.
My favorite streaming was Mike Engelhardt.
Yeah.
Who I think unintentionally had a camera right next to his face.
Oh, you could hear him go.
Yeah. So some of you,
I love it.
Especially like on his motion docket, and he'd be like,
you're worse. Yeah. What do you don't just my favorite of his is no, don't say, Your Honor, may I respond? No, you're winning. Stop. Like you would just straight up tell him, what's the criminal judge, the TikTok criminal judge here in Harris County? Fleischer or something? The greatest.
He's hilarious.
Love that guy.
We'd love to have him on.
I'd love to have him on. I don't even know. I don't know anybody.
I think we should have all the judges that don't stream onto the podcast to make them and stream it.
Yeah, stream it.
All right. We covered that one. Former guest Michelle Acosta and her team at the Amaro Law Firm obtained a $56 million verdict against a man who hit a child and caused grievous injury to him.
Yeah, it was like a bad brain injury.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So that was last week. Big time verdict. Arnold Itkin.
God, yeah.
Obtains it. Yeah, Kyle Finley and I think I saw their post. Maybe Noah Webster.
John Grinna was in there. Noah was in there. I saw a few of them.
Yeah, so they obtained a $2 billion verdict against Monsanto in Georgia. I think it was federal court on Roundup causing cancer.
Those documents have to be so bad, but also I know there are a lot of defense verdicts too. So which give you props to them for doing what they've done. That's like 3 in a row they've hit for over $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go George W. Bush here and say, I don't even know how many 2 Brazilian is.
Yeah. What do you, the terrorizers.
That's a lot of money.
I don't know when you hit something that big. I know when we hit that big one, we're still up on appeal, but what happens to an MDL? Do they pay it?
I don't know,
because appeal them all and pray. I don't know what they do.
I thought there had already been some kind of set aside, like these were opt-outs that were being tried. Is that not true?
No, they are, but then like you start running into the idea of like you're going to throw a giant company into bankruptcy. I mean, they've got like $5 billion worth of verdicts in the last 6 months.
It's Bayer, I think, is a German company, and they bought Monsanto. And this was the Monsanto
buy there. I bet they wish they could have that back, because as soon as it went through, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I think we cause a lot of cancer."
Didn't they invent aspirin?
there.
They sell it.
Yeah.
Bayer. I think they invented aspirin.
All right. Well, I think that covers the big verdicts.
What a headache.
So now we can turn to some updates. Let's update one of our continuing favorite stories, and that is the P. Diddy litigation.
I thought we were going to start with Cam Scattaboo.
Well, we'll get to him. We have a whole list of
Speaking of powerful beards, Cam Scattaboo.
That's not a powerful beard. That's kind of.
So we're gonna lean into the Diddy. I think last we talked, there was some issue about whether Tony Buzbee was admitted to practice in the New York federal court. He's clearly admitted to practice in the state courts. He has a license from the state courts. But as we know, even if you're a lawyer for instance, in Texas, you still have to get admitted to the federal court, which is a very easy process.
You got to take a training course.
It is in Texas, but in other states, it can be a real pain.
In other districts,
other federal courts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
there used to be a rule sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Was it Oklahoma only has one federal district?
Correct.
And they used to have a rule, they might still, that was like, in order to be admitted, even pro hoc, you had to like maintain a physical office within 50 miles of the courthouse or something.
For a pro hoc?
Even for a pro hoc, they were getting really tired of all the Dallas lawyers driving 2 hours and stealing all the business.
I mean, I don't.
Which would irritate me as well.
I don't blame them.
And driving in what kind of car, Bill?
At least 3 Series BMW.
That's right.
White?
That's right.
Oh, of course.
Red interior.
Yeah.
Affliction t-shirt in the back.
Yeah. And at least one subwoofer.
Subwoofer. Is that loud pipe?
Somebody check the woofers.
Yeah. When my first private practice job, my boss had us all get admitted right off the bat, even if we were working a practice there. And because once you're in, it's easy, which was great. And so I'd recommend that to any.
And then, especially in Texas, if you get in, you get into one, then you get into the Southern District of Houston, you do the little class. It takes like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But then if you do that, it's super easy to get admitted to the other ones. You just got to go apply, letter of good standing, and then you got to have a judge here swear it.
It's so much easier to do it if you if you have it and if you get it, or if you're at a let's say a smaller litigation firm and your firm gets a case in the Western District and you're like, no one's admitted there. Well, all of a sudden you become important to your employer.
And the Western District ain't that far, like Austin.
Yeah,
it gets on you quick.
But here's the point: some states, like the Empire State, make it a little bit more difficult. What's going on, Pete?
Well, so apparently one judge said basically a show cause to Mr. Buzbee as to why you're filing cases without having been admitted to practice here.
And for our listeners at home, how much fun is a show cause hearing?
That's terrifying.
Sua sponte brought by the court.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
That is an order. You do not have a choice. And if you get show cause, it is encouraged for you to bring personal counsel.
Yeah. So normally a show cause is you come and tell me why
I shouldn't put you in handcuffs.
I shouldn't put you in handcuffs or fine you, and go ahead and bring a spoon in case you need to spend the night.
I still remember the first time I got introduced to show cause. I was in law school first summer, and I was clerking with Judge McSpadden. He was a criminal judge back then. He went on vacation, and Mike Anderson was the visiting judge there. Day 1, hour 1. This guy, his name was like Abraham Fish or something like that. Something Fish.
I had a case with him.
You know that he was a criminal lawyer.
Yeah, and so brief aside, I had a case with him. He was handling some civil matter, and when I was a defense lawyer, and he had no joke. What was it called when you had a tape recorder that took your messages?
Answering machine.
And he had an answering machine, like till like 2006, 2007, and you'd call him, and he would say, "Hello, my name is Abraham Fish. Leave a message at the sound."
And he wasn't that old.
Oh, when I dealt with him, I thought he was 1,000. So maybe he just spoke like...
It might be different. But so...
What happened to Abraham Fish?
He had a trial in our court. And I guess the court clerk or coordinator called him on the cell. And he was like, I'm in federal... I got called to federal trial, sorry. And hung up on her. And Judge Anderson, before he was DA, was like, all right, you hand me that piece of paper, please. And he's like, I am... And 2 hours later, he showed up with like 3 lawyers for himself. And he got sanctioned.
That's no good.
Yeah. I don't think this was technically a show cause. This was just like, hey, tell us what the story is here. And ultimately, Mr. Buzbee decided to withdraw from all of the P. Diddy cases.
For now or indefinitely?
His letter that he filed with the court basically said until I get things sorted out.
Oh, okay.
But
Ominous.
yeah, then
Things sorted out.
there's another order from a different judge who also admonished his local counsel who said, you filed cases with a lawyer who wasn't admitted, so you need to talk to us.
To be fair, I know the rule, and we talked about it a little bit a couple episodes ago. I feel like it's been blown into way bigger of a deal than it should have. Tony's like, all right, I'm withdrawing from his counsel, and then as soon as he gets admitted, he's just going to file a notice of appearance. So
that is more news fodder. I thought it was just interesting to talk about this Prohagdici thing and what that means.
It's not flattering, but at worst, it's just a little bit sloppy, right? It's not that big.
Bump in the road. Okay, I think that is about it on those. I don't know if we talked about it the last time, but Jay-Z had a John Doe defamation case in California. Now he has filed one under his own name in Alabama against Mr. Buzbee.
Alabama?
An associate at his firm. I think that's where the lady was from, that Lodge, who was the original plaintiff in the case. I think.
And she named Tony as one too for what he said at the press conference?
I guess so.
Because all the legal filings are protected.
You would think so. But
no, you can't be sued for defamation based on what's in a pleading.
Yeah. So it must be the commentary after that. So that's in its early stages.
So you're making good trouble though.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so.
Is that Alabama state court?
I believe it was federal court.
Yeah, because it'd be definitely diversity. Well, no, because the defendant, if she's an Alabama citizen,
maybe they just thought federal. A lot of people think federal. If you're right on the law, and you'd rather be in federal court because you get smart law clerks that brief off.
I would think you'd love to be in federal court. It's a lot harder for a plaintiff to maneuver.
Yeah, we'll see.
Roll Tide.
We shall see. All right. There was a major auto 18-wheeler accident in Austin a couple weeks ago.
That was a horrific. There was
5 deaths.
Deaths, yeah.
5 deaths. And so naturally.
Was it during a dust storm or something? I can't remember what caused so many, because it was a lot of vehicles.
Well, I believe the guy has been arrested. The driver of an 18-wheeler has been arrested for being impaired. Allegedly.
Is impaired from his motor skills from alcohol, drugs, or tires?
Yeah. I don't know the direct answer to that. I know he has been arrested and there's a mugshot. But
that case, hopefully they have enough insurance for all those people.
So Nick's Patterson, my friend Brad Beckworth, has filed a case for plaintiff Thomas J. Henry, Domingo Garcia.
Zeep and Transport. History of reckless driving and safety violations.
I mean, you just Google anybody's NHTSA record and they got those.
So that is in the early stages. There was another major.
Thomas J. Henry. Not a name that gets thrown around Houston a lot per se, but he just put up a giant billboard at the Pierce Elevated right in the middle of downtown. Says he's given away $1 billion, $2 billion to clients in the last 4 years, I think is what the billboard says. I was like, that's a lot.
They advertise a lot in Austin, which I always thought, Austin is not traditionally known as a plaintiff, paradise or anything. There's just not a lot of industry there, but he's advertised there a lot. So that obviously has come back to.
And he's out of Corpus? Where's he based out of?
I think so.
All
over the place, but Corpus is, I think,
mostly
the
Corpus, San Antonio.
The original office.
But then San Antonio was where he had all the fame for his expensive parties. So I think he must live in this
YouTube fame.
Yeah,
he'd be fun to have on. I've never met him, and I've never heard anybody say anything good or bad about him.
Thomas J. Henry? Huh? I have.
We'll leave it.
They're not going to say whether it was.
We'll leave it there. No, we're going to leave it there.
Oh, it could have been great or terrible.
Let the audience.
I'm not saying in one way or the other.
So
you want to throw a party and you want me to do a little
dress up in a quinceanera dance?
Yeah. What's it called? Folklorico dancing? I could do that.
That was then. Okay.
Yeah.
For San Antonio.
No, I get it. I don't think that's the dance, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, I can't do it right now. I don't have the whole get up. Anyways.
He did have the snaps, though. Yeah, he had the snaps sound pretty good.
Sizzling Spanish maracas.
All right, next one, Buckee's. We talk about that quite a bit.
The son?
No, we've covered that one in the past. No, Buckee's, the entity, has sued a Missouri dog park called Barky's for trademark infringement. It's not a store; it's just a dog park that has maybe they sell some dog treats or something.
Who's representing Buckee's?
I don't know. They filed it up in Missouri where the where the defendant is based, and so
I mean, I guess if they're using Barkeys and they have like kind of stealing like the logo a little, maybe, but just based on the name.
So
It's a
trademark law,
cartoon dog that they say has a close style resembling the curved letters of the cartoon beaver mascot.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up Barkeys.
Under trademark law, you have to vigilantly protect your trademark against infringers, or you risk the loss of that trademark, right? So that is why I think Bucky's is very strenuous in protecting its mark. So
I saw that the dude that founded Bucky's, whose nickname he now goes by is Buccee, which I don't know that I would trade all that money to be called Buccee, but he just got
you trust the Buccee. I trust Buccee.
Buccee Dent, one of the best.
Your car breaks down, Bucky's like your third or maybe fourth call.
Speak for yourselves. In any event, he won some like big like lifetime award from the Fighting Texas Aggie.
He's given a bunch of money.
Association of Students.
Yep. Okay. Well, are y'all done with Bucky's?
Jeff Nadalo, general counsel for Bucky's. Jeff, if you're out there.
This is, okay, I got a photo of the logo now. That's not really even close.
That's not even close.
No. I think it's probably more than
Just by my San Antonio.
The name is pretty close because it has the bark-EES, kind of like Bucky says BUC-EES. So I bet that's a big part of it as well.
They just need to change the C to a K.
Yeah.
Every time I want to buy like
bedazzled like jean jacket,
like bedazzled jeans with a crucifix, or a crucifix made out of bedazzled jeans, Aggie hat with a bedazzled cross,
or a sign for your living room that says "Bless this home."
Yeah, or like a shirt that says "Live, Laugh, Toaster in the Bath." Like that's my place.
And if I'm like, man, I want 6 pounds of jerky, but I don't want them to be the same kind, Bucky's.
And the fudge.
I'm not a fudge guy.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Bucky's is great. I stop there pretty much every week.
Oh, you're on Team Bucky's in this one? Okay, Peter. Sorry, Barkeys.
Yeah.
Al and I were with you.
Yeah, I'm on Team Bucky's on that.
I'm with you, Barkeys. We would love some dog treats. And
then if we're invited, we'll record an episode out at the dog park.
What if we started our own store called Billy's for you? Call it BILLEES, Billy's. We used their exact logo, but we draw like a little beard on it.
Or goatee.
And for those of you listening but not watching at home, Bill is wearing suspenders.
Braces. They're braces.
We do like a little, like a rodent with suspenders on.
Bill, are they the kind that have the loops that go into your pants, or are they the snap-on?
No, suspenders have snaps. Braces have buttons.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question about these braces.
Is that from Fran?
No,
dressed by Fran?
No, just a great suit.
Got it. Let me ask you a question. My belt holds up my pants.
Does it though?
But my belt loop holds up my belt. Who's the real hero?
Not all heroes wear capes.
Next story.
All right, next story. This is going to be, I don't know how this is going to, it hadn't really caught on like I thought it would. California jury awards $50 million to man burned badly in the privates by hot tea at Starbucks.
$50 million? Who is this, Chelsea Clinton?
So that's
Rush Hour, in case anybody's dated by that reference.
So he was kind of like the one, the famous McDonald's spilled coffee thing where the ladies' privates were burned very badly. And most people don't know the extent of the injuries. They just heard the facts and they were thought that number was too high. This guy apparently had 3rd-degree burns to his penis, groin, and inner thighs. He was a delivery driver who picked up some tea that was abnormally hot in his view and spilled and
Kyle, stand real quick.
hurt it.
I just want to see where Peter thinks the penis stops and the groin begins.
Wherever NBC News thinks is what I'll go with.
I spent a lot of money for this table, and it protects the general public. Yeah. The days when you don't wear pants.
Don't worry, we'll pixelate it.
So it was medicine ball.
Can't afford it.
Medicine ball teas. Have you ever had those before? Like if you're sick, it's like a peppermint kind of. It's supposed to help make you feel better if you got a cold. I think you can add it if you are so inclined.
This guy was sick and he wanted to feel better, and instead he charred his penis and groin.
He was picking him up for somebody else. Look at him.
Yeah,
he seems like an honest fella. He's got a little.
Was he door dashing?
He was.
I think he was.
He was either that or Postmates. Yeah, so. He had to have 2 skin grafts to a body part.
Where did they get that skin from? It wasn't 1 skin, 2 skin, or 3 skin.
No, we'll have to. That's a very. We'll have a urologist on at some point to answer that question. I think any further speculation on our part would be.
You guys remember
would
when
be irreparable.
Starbucks sued that brewery in Galveston called Starbuck?
Yeah,
That was
same
lame.
thing. Same thing.
$50 million. Do you think Starbucks did like the same thing that McDonald's did and was just like, we're just never gonna pay you, and then you get a $50 million verdict?
Where was it at? California?
Yeah, Los Angeles. So that will most definitely be appealed. Wouldn't you agree?
Hold on. Just real quick.
Yeah.
The skin grafts were on his penis.
Kyle, show the picture to the audience that you're looking at.
Oh, it's just,
I know.
stop it, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know that, I mean, $50 million maybe, but geez, nobody wants that.
Well,
Skin grafts, I don't know why.
No.
we don't know all the facts.
You got to get the skin from somewhere. That's why I asked. That was a real question.
So the
It'll be a weird conversation for a long time for that guy.
yeah, I mean, remember the McDonald's case. Aside from the grievous injuries, there was like a lot of prior complaints of the Taaffe was doing.
Complaints.
Yeah, and I'm
I think
guessing
that the reason this didn't take off the way that you thought it would is because they've made multiple documentaries about the McDonald's hot coffee story, and people now see what happened to that woman, and they realize, oh, this isn't just some clumsy person that spilled coffee on themselves and wants a payday. That woman was really burned. So I think those documentaries and the public knowledge of that case is probably why it's not as big of a story. That's a big number.
yeah, and the fact that there apparently it wasn't like the first time. There have been multiple complaints, and so the question is, what level of complaints or knowledge did Starbucks have? Probably the jury heard about some. You'd have to think if they got that angry.
Well, here's the thing: is Starbucks, and every single Starbucks puts up a little sign that says, "Hey, it might be super, super hot. Be careful." Is that?
Yeah.
Do you assume that risk? I don't know where that.
Wait, that's not enough. At least not in.
I think maybe in this case there was some negligence about how it was handled. Maybe they spilled it on him, so there was a
Oh, if they spilled it. Okay, then that more facts coming to light.
yeah. Okay, let's go into our sports section. We've got 3 sports stories. 2 are very related.
Sports and tourists. We're stealing from. Isn't Josh Stein?
Yeah,
Yeah, Josh.
yeah.
Good
We're not stealing from you, Josh.
Teams. I knew Stein.
Josh and his group actually know a good deal about sports. So,
We know a ton about.
and they know a lot about sports.
To be fair, we know a lot about gambling.
Kyle, you know a lot about sports. The second biggest sport in the world is cricket. Name one cricketer.
Tim May.
Patel.
That's actually like half of the Indian national team,
Boom.
and they're fantastic. They're very good.
Now who looks stupid?
I believe his name is Virat Kohli. Is like the biggest.
Shut up, Bill.
No, I'm not kidding. I think he's probably got over under on followers. Let's look him up real quick, Kyle.
You can't.
Mr. I Know Sports.
The deal with cricket, though, that's like a 3-day deal, right, for one match?
I had a
Virat Kohli.
Very long.
A young lady used to have office right next to me. Her name was Lena Katrapal Basin. Hello, Lena. And she and her husband, I think, were both born in India. And she took off like a week. Like India played South Africa or something in cricket. And she took like 6 days of PTO to stay home and watch cricket.
What?
That's awesome.
Who's the biggest star in an American sports star that you know?
Michael Jordan.
All right.
Current LeBron James, probably.
All right. Let's look at LeBron.
I'm going Michael Taaffe.
Could be.
LeBron James.
You looking at how many followers on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also-
now you search him, you're only going to get sports in your feed for a week. Right. Yeah.
Virat Kohli has 270 million followers.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So when we say we know sports, we know some sport.
Yeah.
Get a job, you bunch of cricket fans.
All right. So turning to American sports, football,
The only sports
to be specific. NFL star Stephon Diggs says a woman with whom he had a casual relationship tried to extort him with claims of abuse when she was actually the one who assaulted him. So he has filed a lawsuit. He is represented by another former guest of the show, Kent Schaefer.
The Shave Master.
Yeah, he is. He's filed suit for Mr. Diggs and says that this lady, she was featured on the reality show Basketball Wives, Orlando. She has 1 million followers on Instagram, Bill.
Oh, you mean like an actual punctuated colon?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
I wasn't talking about your
TV you watch, Peter?
A punctured colon.
No.
Yeah.
So
How much cricket you got to play to get that?
Yeah. So Mr. Diggs alleges that Miss Jones, the defendant,
Mia Jones,
she assaulted him and destroyed his property. And then she's claiming she's got a medical treaters trying to claim he hit her and that she was trying to extort money from him. Anyhow, so Mr. Schaefer's filed a lawsuit. Oh, he also said she damaged slammed his video game console on the ground. And
you can do a lot of things. That's a no-fly zone.
how are you supposed to play Madden?
Well, he was playing Call of Duty now.
Fortnite. I don't know. That's how important sports are. How are you supposed to play Cricket World Cup 2001 if it's not loaded on your Atari 6500, Bill?
So he's playing video games. She comes in, slams his video game console to the ground, then did the same to a $130,000 watch.
What?
Then threw his cell phone in the toilet and punched him in the chest several times. So,
Was he more upset about the watch or the cell phone in the toilet?
probably the watch.
I don't think so. That's insured.
Oh,
Well, you don't, but not everybody buys the extra protection for your phone. And even if you do, you got to wait a couple days to get it mailed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So if you are commissioner of the NFL, is Andre Rison not doing like your welcome speech to all the rookies about making sure ladies don't come over to your house
No, that's Chris Carter.
and burn all your stuff?
Chris Carter told all the rookies that one day he's like, get a fall guy. You need a bag man. That's the one when he
Lisa-
does down, you need a friend that takes the fall.
When Lisa Left Eye Lopez in 1994 burned down Andre Rison's mansion by lighting his tennis shoes on fire?
I didn't know that. What? Left Eye's the one that passed away in the plane crash?
Well, in any event,
R.I.P. Left Eye. But we still have Chili and Josh.
I knew she'd been drinking, but I didn't know she was so upset she was going to hit me in the face and burn down my house.
And
Andre Rison.
And another episode where Josh Bellin gets us to talk about TLC.
Don't go
Every episode.
chasing waterfalls. Just stick to the next story.
next story related.
I was going to let that go.
Yeah, I was waiting for.
I wasn't waiting. I was encouraging.
I was waiting for him to go.
If you're listening at home,
He was kind of going low.
yeah. If you're not watching, you're just listening. You have to understand. As I got to like 4 words in, everybody in the group was doing the little neck thing. Just to,
We were trying to encourage you, like, keep this going together. Everybody, make it cool.
Stefan Diggs, I want to wish you the best of luck. And unless you're guilty, in which case I hope Mia gets all your stuff.
Yep. All right.
Well,
Hold on one sec.
I just pull out a tape measure.
Yeah.
Stand against the wall. See how tall you really are.
Hold on.
4.
Let me. I'm trying to coordinate our next guest.
Are you
Multitasking.
Look at this guy. He's big timing us as we're
Multitasking.
He's big timing us as we're recording.
Peter, I don't know if you know what multitasking is, but when you stop doing something to do something else, this is not multitasking.
What is it called? Like think? Yeah. Okay. I was tasking. I'm sorry. I was waiting.
Monotasking.
I was pressing my luck and thinking if I was quiet, maybe we'd get another song.
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, I was going to say it's Uno tasking, but ever since Trump got elected, it's just one tasking.
Yep.
So same thing. So they were
America.
They were in a relationship. I think they were engaged, but were Cam Scatabo, who is a
Is it Scatabo or Scatabo?
Hold on.
I think Scatabo. Maybe you're right. All right. So Cam Scatabo is being sued by a former player that played with him at Arizona State in July 23. Scatabo allegedly jumped up and down on the back of a golf cart during a practice, which resulted in the back seat collapsing and the plaintiff falling to the ground. He also had to have surgery for a ruptured elbow tendon. And that he believed he's requested amount is $300,000. So,
Was this while they were in college?
yes,
Why didn't they sue the university? I guess because the university has immunity.
I don't know. And now I guess Cam is about to make some money in the NFL. So
I'll tell you, golf carts are dangerous.
yeah, Bill, Bill likes to play golf. And Bill, do you and your friends ever get into hijinks with the golf carts?
Okay. So it happened once. I was, I think, probably young in college, maybe late high school, and one ended up in a body of water. But we weren't really messing around that much. I wasn't driving. But now, once you get to a certain age, no. But I mean, look at Marshawn Lynch. He gets in that medic cart on the field when he was at Cal, and he could have easily mowed down a person and ruptured some sort of tendon.
Well, I think, as you guys know, I broke my back in a golf cart.
Gee, no, we didn't know. Why would we know that? What?
Really?
How'd that happen?
You never heard this story?
No.
So our guest from last week, Jason Webster, was there. He was the witness, and he tried to pick me up while I had 2 broken vertebrae. We were at you know what? I suppose it's confidential. There was a lawsuit.
That means you should stop talking.
Yeah. Well,
You know, there was a lawsuit?
yeah. End of the day, there was a golf cart accident at a skeet shooting tournament, and that resulted in me rolling out of the front passenger seat of a golf cart, and the golf cart rolling over on top of me, crushing 2 vertebrae. I had to do underwater, learn to walk again. It was a nightmare.
Okay. What was the defendant in said lawsuit a potential plaintiff's attorney?
He is a plaintiff's lawyer.
Are y'all still friends?
We were never friends.
Nice.
I'll say this. We
Get
were,
that guy on the show. Or girl.
I didn't know him, and then I did not like him at all during the pendency of the lawsuit, and we're now Facebook friends.
Who represented you?
I had a friend of mine named Brad Wiley did,
Brad Wiley.
and
Valedictorian UT Law, I believe.
case resolved.
Former guest
Former guest
as
Brad
well.
Wiley.
Brad came on?
Early days.
Before my time then.
We call that before Bill.
Yeah.
BB.
But if I could point something out of a serious nature, golf carts go fast.
Yeah.
And they're the 3 things that people don't think about is there is no seat belt. There is nothing to keep you from flying out of it, 2. And 3, all of the things that you do as a normal human being when you're in a car that you think about, this would be dangerous, you don't think about when you're in a golf cart.
And golf cart has no suspension.
Right. Because you get in a golf cart and you drink and you don't pay attention and you play on your cell phone, and nobody really ever says, hey, don't do that. And they're pretty dangerous.
I'm just glad we were able to resolve your dispute.
That was a long time ago.
When we're off air, you'll have to tell me the name.
What?
When we're off air, you'll have to tell me who the
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's filed, so you can tell me who the defendant was.
To be honest, as we sit here, I don't recall his name.
We'll do some research.
Yeah, I'll put
Okay. I think we've completed the sports.
I was also a defendant in the same lawsuit because some other people sued me, represented by a lawyer that you guys keep trying to get on the show.
Wait. Who?
Let's go. Next
all
story.
right.
Hold on. Did Cam Scattaboo ever apologize to Michael Taaffe for getting his helmet and face mask in the way of Michael's hands and then diving to the ground?
No, I don't believe so.
That was that was the best tackle of that game.
Yeah. Well, in Scattaboo, we were sitting right there, and when he looked up in the crowd and just mean mugged the crowd, it was like right there. I mean, he's a tough kid.
Oh, no doubt about it. But I mean, Michael saved a touchdown.
He got like 8 penalties in one play, but they can only penalize you once. So if you're going to do one, may as well do 10.
Well, if you're going to give up 6 points or climb on the running back's face like a spider monkey and drag him to the ground, that's what you got to do, right?
And that's parenting advice from Peter Taaffe.
I don't
break them all. Break them all.
Yeah, I don't think he intended to take his helmet off, but he just was trying to tackle him any way he could, and it was great. Yeah, well. So anyhow, that was the last. I think Michael wants to see if Cam Scattaboo.
I don't think anybody on the defensive side of the ball that isn't a defensive tackle wants to see that guy on the end of it.
Good luck to you, him, Scattaboo, and if you need legal representation, Peter Taaffe is here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, another former guest.
What?
Anna Greenberg.
Yeah.
Oh, she got something else?
Has filed another lawsuit against Massage Envy, this time their Austin location.
I spoke to Anna today. Just a delightful young lady.
She really is. I spoke to her 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was trying to get her a case that was referred, but didn't fit their criteria.
Yeah.
She took a lot of time.
She seems like she knows what she's doing. Really like her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm impressed when, because I think she said she and her father, they really screen their cases and only want to take a certain amount of cases so they can devote 100% of their time to it, which I respect. So this is the same, that the masseuse was the alleged aggressor and the customer, I guess, was the victim plaintiff in this case. So this one, at least Austin Police Department thinks there's something there. They've issued a felony arrest warrant for the masseuse.
Male or female masseuse? Do we know?
Male masseuse. So he apparently had a assault charge for domestic violence, and I think that's something that
Lodi Ranch. That's in your hood.
It's kind of close. It's more southwest. It's less south of.
That's Westlake, isn't it?
Yeah, well, southwest of.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the roads. If you know what I mean, kind of.
So, and something Anna said with us, this guy, although he has a felony arrest warrant issued, he still has an active license. So he could be practicing as a massage therapist right now, says Anna. So I think she had an issue with the licensing board, at least when we talked to her. Next story, Judge Ken Hoyt awarded nearly $2 million after concluding an FBI agent was negligent in shooting a kidnapped Texas man.
Wait.
So the guy would
bench trial.
Yeah. I think so. I guess because maybe it was
he awarded.
Yeah. I believe so.
Seems low.
So I couldn't tell from the story
where'd he get shot,
who the defendant
he died
was.
Defendant was FBI agent. Sounds like he died.
I don't. Yeah, Faley shot him. Yeah, so he had been kidnapped, and FBI was trying to rescue him. Came in the house, and I guess accidentally shot the victim instead of the kidnapper. And so they.
Who was that attorney? Who's the plaintiff's attorney?
Didn't say in the story. Yeah, so Judge Hoyt said that the FBI agent shot at a silhouette in the window, not knowing who he was shooting at. Did so when there was no direct threat to him or another agent. So, so the case was against the federal government, and I did not see who the lawyer was who represented him. Who have we had on that did? But you've done these cases, 1980.
And then no,
it was
Carter University of Tennessee. Joe Malugin. Joseph Malugin. I've run into him a few times. This kid plays ball where mine does.
Yeah, I thought, weren't y'all working on a case together?
We are.
Yeah, good.
He's not on his own anymore. I think he works for Williams Hart.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right. I think we're circling.
Randall Callanan, it looks like, is the one that filed this.
Yeah, he does a lot.
If this is the same one, the shooting happened in 18?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good for Randy. Yeah, he does a lot of those cases.
When was the verdict?
It was just recently. The story aired.
Looks like they had Art Acevedo as an expert.
Yeah. The story aired in early March. So it must have been
almost Deputy Secretary of ICE? Huh? Isn't that what he was?
He got former HPD Chief of Police, wasn't
he? Yep. All right. Yeah. So
I don't want to be kidnapped ever.
Definitely don't want to get shot by the FBI if I'm kidnapped.
I would make a terrible hostage.
Yeah, we heard the singing.
Yeah.
All right. Circling up on our last story. Have you heard about this concrete cancer in swimming pools, particularly in the Austin area?
I have not, but I'm fascinated by it as a pool owner.
There is an MDL. Most of the cases, I think, are in Austin, the greater Austin area. I know a former guest, we'll keep shouting out former guests. I know Chaz Clays represents some defendants in that case.
He would.
Chaz loves cancer.
Yeah, Chaz is like
give it to kids and puppies.
We're like, you wear the pink hats, we're against it. Chad wears a different color hat. He's like, somebody's got to be on the other side of the fight, you know? Classic Clays.
So, yeah, for some reason, it's concentrated in Central Texas, where this is a pool. Something is wrong with the
alkali silica reaction.
Yeah. So, somehow it makes the pool start to fail prematurely, and apparently there's something wrong with the concrete that wasn't mixed correctly, and I guess it was.
So how do you get the cancer? Like through your skin, or do you?
No, it's just the pools that have cancer. It doesn't cause cancer in humans. It's just the pools start to fail. The pool gets sick.
Wait, let's back up a second, because when you say cancer, Kyle and I feel justifiably immediately thought, this concrete in swimming pools is giving all these swimmers cancer.
You would
because
think
I've never gotten a call from the pools nurse at school saying come pick it up.
Yeah. Don't blame me. Blame KView.
You know what I know is a lot of ladies that are dating professional athletes, they have video game console cancer.
Yep. See how this works, Peter? See what you got us into now?
Yeah.
This is on you.
I'm going to call Peter tomorrow and be like, "Dear Peter,
You smell like cancer.
I have jacket cancer."
Yeah.
Well, if you are mad at an NFL player, the first thing you do, go right to their PlayStation.
Yeah.
Throw it to the ground.
Do you think Xavier Worthy plays with himself?
Jeez.
Like when he plays, does he play
No, we
Yes.
get what you're saying.
the Chiefs?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, against himself.
No, does he
Or
play
with
with himself?
Oh, probably.
Like, I know that if I had myself in a video game, I play with myself all the time.
Yeah.
I play with myself. Like if
After
I had a significant other and she was gone for a girls' trip on the weekend, I'd play with myself all weekend.
you're there in the game room, just you and the console,
Just by myself.
playing with yourself.
I might even put on some nice music when I'm playing with myself. You know, Peter?
This might be
So this has been this has been going on for a while. The case has been going on for a while, but the news story was that the insurance company for one of the largest pool companies has finally filed a declaratory judgment action, saying they do not owe any coverage. So that could be a big problem. I don't think most pool companies are.
Why is it only in Central Texas?
I
That's
think-
the question I'm most.
Maybe where they got the concrete. I mean, because you don't want to be hauling concrete all over.
So what's the
country.
exclusion that they're fighting about?
Could be some type of pollution exclusion.
Okay, so they're saying,
It's a lack of fly ash.
so here's the problem. CNA is the largest, I've had cases against CNA. CNA is the largest insurer of pool companies in the nation. And a bunch of other companies have copied them with this exclusion that says we're not paying claims based on, and that's what I can't figure out.
Well, they said policies exclude coverage for damage arising out of the actual or alleged presence of silica. As y'all recall, there was a long time ago, there was a big silica, kind of like asbestos, and it didn't really go anywhere.
The other thing here is
Silica?
I think I found why it's in Central Texas.
Okay.
There are certain sand pits that source concrete in Bastrop area.
Got it.
They say that sand may have a more reactive, may be more reactive to this problem, and that's contributing to why it's so localized.
Yeah. So silica was a big issue back in the day, and I'm sure all the policies have been rewritten to exclude that. So,
But not as a, so silica was written into a bunch of industrial policies, commercial policies, because silica is a pollutant that if inhaled, like asbestos,
right.
gives you cancers of the lung.
That's right.
But if you're a pool,
And so is CNA trying to say, hey, silica of the lung is the same as
silica of the pool.
silica as a building ingredient? That seems like
I
bullshit.
think it was written how it was written. So, I mean, that's why you pay the judges the big bucks to decide if that's the case or not. So
Now I get it. That's why they're calling it.
How big's the MDL?
I went and looked at it. It looked like there was probably 50 cases. In it.
Oh, okay. I was thinking hundreds.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of claims, and maybe that was when I looked at it last about 6 months ago. Sure, there's been more at it.
It says that the pool builder is being sued by CNA.
Yeah, it's a deck action, no coverage.
That's what they mean.
So I think Bill, it's just manifesting itself, and so I've heard from friends who have just hey, our pool's messed up. Have you heard about this issue? And I said, yeah, there's actually a bunch of litigation about it. So I think it's starting.
Don't refer them to an oncologist.
Yeah.
And now I understand why they're calling it the pool cancer.
Yes. It makes a lot more sense now that we walked through this silica cancer stuff.
Bill,
There you go.
I feel like maybe you should start with the summaries of the cases because Peter's.
I read them as the stories are, and y'all are, and remember, the idea is I send you the stories ahead of time with the idea that maybe y'all have read them before, not reading them. As
I read the first 6. This is the last one on the list, to be fair.
So the bottom line is silica present in the air used to cause cancer. So a bunch of insurance companies say, in the same way they have pollution exclusions or nuclear energy exclusions, that if in the course of this, you doing your operations, you expose me to silica, that's not covered. But now they're saying silica got mixed into these pools as a building material, and we're not going to cover it because silica used to cause cancer in other people.
Because it didn't cause you cancer.
That's dumb.
It's
I'm sorry, CNA. That is dumb.
It's state court?
I hope you lose.
I think it's federal court.
Federal court in deal. Okay.
Okay, well, with that exciting story, I think we will call it a night. Unless y'all have anything else you want to add.
I mean, I think I'm getting microphone cancer just sitting here.
Yeah. So with that, please follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, really wherever you get your podcasts. So like us, you'll get updates as you go along, and then you can see these witty clips that we'll post during the week and see who we have on next. You'll be the first to see.
If you want to see a Bill's suspenders or my beautiful beard,
They're
this
braces.
is silky.
Coming soon to a PlayStation near you, the Dirty Verdict video game. It's in the works.
It's a lot like Grand Theft Auto, but we obey all traffic rules.
Except on a golf cart.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Good night.